Hi students, good morning. Yeah, as always, write good morning in the chat box. Okay, I hope everyone has written good morning in the chat box. I'll take it as an attendance. Okay, that's the reason. And okay, fine. Okay, students, good morning everyone. And today we are in the final class of second module. Okay, so we started second module 3 classes back, 2 classes back, I guess. And as of now, we did with the major part. We did with yeah, somewhat sourcing strategy, supply selection. इतना तो किया. Okay, so this much we are going to do. Okay, contract negotiation. Let's see if I could find more material. I'll put it in the notes, but not that much is included in the slides. Okay, then in second module we started with what what is a Netflix. We discussed how a major player Blockbuster went out of the market, and Netflix and Redbox, another DVD rental business, these two uh, made it into the market, and how a major player Blockbuster went out of the market, how the supply chain management they were doing, Netflix and Redbox. And then we started with the module by introducing this, not Virat Kohli, but the Nike. Okay, Nike is a brand which is manufacturing shoes, which is uh, not manufacturing shoes, but is the owner of the shoe brand, uh, which supplies the sports shoes. They don't manufacture any plant. They don't have manufacturing plant. They don't manufacture their any shoes, nor they sell any shoes. They all these things are given to the third party, and they only do designing and brand management of the product. Then we came to make or buy, whether the company should make whatever products they are selling, or whether the company should buy the products. Okay, so we discussed this. Okay. Then afterwards, why we should make or buy, on which company does this. Okay, this we discussed. Then which things to be produced in house, which processes to be outsourced. That that depends on each and every company, and capability of each and every company, and logic of each and every company. So the basic logic behind is to identify the core process. The core process, the important one, in which the company is very good at producing that, or inventing that, or supplying that, or whatever things companies into good into, they'll be doing, they that will be considered as the core process, and they'll be doing that. So there are two methods which we studied about identifying the core process, or the important process which the company should do, and the remaining process can be outsourced. Okay, so first was about the business process route, in which there were three categories. Okay, so first one is customer relationship or brand management. In this, the company will only focus more on customer relationship, designing their products, branding their products, and the remaining manufacturing and selling of the products, advertisement. They will be. Yeah, okay. Those who are joining new, kindly write good morning in the chat box. Okay. Okay. Cool. So these kind of companies, they focus more on customer retention, customer relationship, brand management, which we have are Nike. So they don't manufacture their products, they don't sell their products, they focus more on uh, brand image, advertisements, and maintaining customer relationship. The next company which is doing product innovation is HP. This company, the the product is very important for that company as compared to the advertisements and the remaining supply chain or whatever the remaining processes are there. As compared to those processes, the product innovation is very important. So the manufacturing and the innovation of the products is being kept in house. It is not shared to anyone, because of leakage of the information can affect the company's innovation ideas as well. So that's the reason they focus more on product innovation. So it depends upon the company which processes is important. Okay, so for customer relationship, the Nike focus on that. Product innovation, HP focus on that, and supply chain management, Walmart and Amazon, they focus on this because they don't produce anything, nor they have a kind of a brand management or kind of advertisements. Okay, a simple kind of advertisement will be there, but their main focus will be on supply chain management. So depending upon business process, which business to select, and depending upon the product architecture, which in which part you are good at. Okay, so these are the two routes of identifying a core process. Okay, in product architecture, which if you are manufacturing car, which in which process or which part of the car you are good into. Yeah, whether you are good into transmission and making of engine, or you are good in designing of the body and designing of other stuff, so you can buy engine from outside. What you are good at, okay, in product architecture, and I'll dismantle the product and I'll tell which thing I can manufacture better in product architecture. Okay, so these were the two process. Then we went into market and hierarchy. Okay, why we should do that? Okay, why we should give for outsourcing, and what why we should do in house, and what are the cost involved. Okay, if there is economies of scale, if there is economies of scale, then there is economies of scale. That means if I give it for outsourcing, he'll have huge production capabilities, and he is producing for three or four companies. So he'll produce in one go too many quantities. So the cost per quantity will be reduced. So if the economies of scale is happening, then I'll go for outsourcing, or economies of scale is happening in house, I'll not go for outsourcing. If I'm producing a few articles every month, then better go for outsourcing. So that determines the quantity of the production, determines whether I should make it or whether I should buy it. Then if I am making it, then agency cost will be involved, because my what I'll if I am making, I'll be giving some to some other department to handle that department, to motivate the department to come up with cost effective ideas. That cost will be called as an agency cost. And if I'm outsourcing, and then I have to control them, I need to keep in touch with them for the delivery, for the I need to be behind them for the product innovation and everything. So when I'm trying to control the outsourced supplier, then it is a transaction cost. Okay, so that's what we discussed: agency cost, transaction cost. Then incomplete contracts. Last time we started. Incomplete contracts is we cannot make a complete contract based on our common sense and based on our understanding, okay, and whatever information is available. Okay, so that's the reason the contracts will remain somewhat incomplete. So because of that, there might be a poor coordination or leakage of some information that can happen. Okay, so that should not happen, and both the companies who are undergoing the uh, outsourcing activity, they should have that understanding. Okay, so these were the three reasons. Okay. Then we discuss this whether we should buy or whether we should make it. It depends upon what is the cost involved. Okay, if it was from the cost aspects, if I am b- if my quantity is below this, between O to this quantity, then I should definitely buy the quantity because the buying portion is cost effective. If my quantity exceeds after this and it goes up to here, okay, that means ये इधर से इधर I'll be uh, buying my products. I'm buying my products from outside. If it is from here to here, then I'll be making the products. Okay, I'll not buy the products because uh, making the products is less costly. It is cost effective. So on the basis of cost, we can decide whether to buy or whether to make. Okay, this can be interchangeable. The graph is important. Then make versus buy continuum was there. One was tapered integration. In tapered integration, the company will outsource the product and make the product both. Okay, they'll not just make the product or they'll not just buy the product. They'll do both the things. Okay, so that they can keep a track of what is happening in the market or what is the difficulties in producing or how we can innovate in producing. And along with that, the supplier will also have a fear that if I don't supply properly, then they'll whole and soul start producing by themselves because they have the capacity to do that. ठीक है, तो दोनों करते हैं, we'll make and we'll buy, both the things we'll do in tapered integration. In collaborative relationship, we'll have a relationship with our suppliers in such a way that uh, we'll only take from them. Okay, there'll be no competition between the suppliers. Okay, if I book one supplier for my tire requirement, so I'll book that supplier for maybe 10 or 15 years. I'll not change the supplier. Okay, if another supplier comes to me and tell me I'll give you a good quality of product with a lesser price than that supplier, then I'll not switch to that supplier because I have made a commitment with my earlier supplier that 10 to 15 years that I'll take the products from you. Okay, so that kind of a relationship will be established in buying decision. Okay, so this was we discussed. Okay, and one thing we discussed about McDonald's, how it failed in Iceland. Iceland is a small country in just in the north of Europe, and there was McDonald's was launched in that country by early 2000, 2001, 2002. It was launched. It had a grand opening in 2003, but in 2008, the McDonald's got huge losses because McDonald's, what it was doing, it was not sourcing the products locally. It was everything, the meat and the buns and all the raw materials for the making of burgers were coming in from Germany. So from Germany, every raw material was coming to Iceland, and Iceland was then uh, producing burgers and selling in the market. But when 2008 financial crisis, global economic crisis, which affected most of the countries, it affected Iceland also. So the value of currency of Iceland went down. Because of that, the McDonald's were facing a huge import bills from Germany. So what they were importing, okay, because of this global economic crisis, whatever they were importing, they were getting higher import prices at higher tariffs. And so because of that, the kilo of onion which was imported from Germany, they were paying very high. It was equivalent to a bottle of whiskey which was available locally. So it was a wrong supply chain decision which McDonald's made because of sourcing it from uh, uh, from the foreign country. Okay, so and this a small Tommy's Burger joint. It's quite famous over there, and this occupied the majority market share and even the McDonald's market share. And McDonald's left Iceland in 2013. They somehow survived till 2013, but they left it. So there is a European country which doesn't have McDonald's. Okay, it has burgers, but it doesn't have McDonald's. Then last class, this was the ending, I guess. A sourcing strategy or portfolio approach. Okay, in sourcing strategy, when we are sourcing materials from outside, when we have outsourced and we have selected the supplier, and the supplier is sending us. Okay, so mainly sourcing strategy is for raw materials or semi or work in progress goods. Okay, we have ordered something and they are manufacturing our part of the product, and they are sending it to us. We are assembling our products, and we are making our final product. Okay, for that there are two things which are considered very important: value of purchase and supply risk. Okay, value of purchase is the cost of the product which we have outsourced. Okay, what is the cost of the product what we are buying from outside, what we have outsourced. And supply risk is the number of suppliers available in the market. Okay, if very few numbers of suppliers are there in the market, then it will be if very few numbers of suppliers are there in the market, then it will be the supply risk will be very high, because only two or three people are there. Okay, so I have to deal with them. Okay, I don't have any choice. So there is a supply risk if they stop supplying or they delay in supplying. If there's many suppliers are there, then the supply risk is very low. Okay, value of purchase is the cost. So cost can be low or high, depends upon the product what we are sourcing. So by this, we made the supply risk is very high in this for bottleneck products or strategic products. Okay, supply risk is low for routine products or leverage products, and purchasing value is low for these two and high for these two. Okay, so strategic product can be uh, very important products, very costly products, and very few suppliers will be there for strategic products. Okay, like the supplier of engines for the Tata Motors. Okay, the supplier is the Fiat Motors is supplying engines to Tata Motors. So engine is very costly and only one supplier is there. So that kind of a strategic products will be engine will be a kind of a strategic product. Okay, so similarly, maybe a nuts and bolts will be a routine product. Okay, large variety of products. Then leverage products can be tires. Okay, their supplier risk is low because there are many tire companies, but the purchasing value will be high. Okay, so one tire can be costing from 8,000 to 8,000 to 15,000, anywhere between that. So it will form 10 to 15% of the cost of the vehicle. So pretty much the purchasing high value is high, but there are a lot of suppliers. Okay, same if goes for the bottleneck products. Uh, maybe a windshield or something like that. Okay, the cost is very low. Okay, the cost of windshield and some glass mirrors, rear view mirrors are low, but without them we cannot sell our cars. Okay, so that will create a bottleneck. That will create a bottleneck means just imagine the neck of the bottle. एक ऐसा नॉर्मल बॉटल रहता है, पेट बॉटल्स जैसे, the body of the bottle is huge, and the where the cap is fitted, the neck is very small. Okay, so when we try to fill the bottle or take out water from the bottle, it will be the water will be getting slow because of the neck. Okay, or you can imagine there are four lanes of a car. Okay, all the cars are running on that four lane, and suddenly that four lane are converging into two. So there will be a traffic at that point where the lanes are getting converged from four to two. Okay, you must have observed uh, many places are there. Okay, just uh, maybe, yeah, while going to Bangalore, while going to that Dharwad Hubli highway, you have three lanes or two lanes, and suddenly one lane it becomes one lane. So there will be a bottleneck at the edge of that. So there will be a traffic. So that kind of a traffic will be created in the manufacturing as well. Okay, and this is This was what was there, and why Walmart actually didn't capture the Indian market because of the business model. Walmart needs a lot of space, and in India, metro cities doesn't have any space. So Walmart couldn't establish their business model in India properly. Okay, so that's the reason Walmart has shifted to the online retail platform, and that's the reason it bought Flipkart in $16 billion for 3 years back. Okay. And then finally, we did all this, the supplier selection. Well, how to select a supplier? Okay, on the basis of what? On the basis of product technology, on the basis of willingness to share the technology and information, on the basis of quality, the quality, what quality they are maintaining, what is the cost, whether it is cost effective to give it to that supplier. Okay, what is the reliability? If you order, what is the confirmation that he will deliver on time? What is the order system or cycle time? How to order that, and how to order their products, and what is the frequency of the ordering, and whether we can order every 15 days or every 1 month, or every 2 months. So depending upon our manufacturing requirements, their cycle time, whether they are matching or not. Okay, whether he has the capacity to produce that many products which we want, with how the communication capability is there, how the ordering system is there, and what is his location, and what service he will provide. So based on these 10 parameters, we selected the supplier. Okay, so itna tha last time. Okay, so today, anything you want to ask from this? Okay, no. Okay, then I'll move to today's lecture. Okay. This is about a total cost of ownership concept. ठीक है, इसमें क्या है? We have a factory in which there is a kind of a requirements of a factory which goes like this. Okay, we need 12,000 units every year. This is annual forecast. The 12,000 units will we require. Okay, that means 1,000 unit you can consider per month. Okay, on an average. Then these are the specific costs and uh, specific information about that. What is the carrying cost? What is the working capital cost? Okay, so this is what the information is being given. Okay, you are the manager of that factory. Okay, you are managing the supply chain of that factory, and you have these this requirements, and this is your forecast. Then you have information of two suppliers available. There is supplier one, supplier two. Supplier one has this chart sheet. This is chart hai uska. If you order from 1 to 999 units, then it will be $510. If you order from 1,000 to 2,999 units, the price will be 500. So like that, 490. So for supplier two, the prices, and supplier one, the prices differs, and the tooling cost is different, the terms are different, the distance, supplier one is located 125 miles, supplier two is located 100 miles. Okay, supplier one defects is a 2% defect, supplier one is 2% defect, supplier two is 3% defects. So, and late delivery chances is 1%, and late delivery chances percent 2%. So you, as a manager, you don't have any numerical in this, but just as a manager, you need to compare what is the cost if I order from supplier one, what is the cost if I order from supplier two, and if it is a matter of cost, then which is the cost effective supplier for me. Okay, so that calculation you will do when you are selecting a supplier. Okay, you have analyzed everything, you have analyzed the supplier according to this, and after analysis of this, you have two suppliers which are fitting into that criteria. So from these two suppliers, which one to select? Okay, so you will be doing some calculations, and then you will find out, okay, which supplier is good and which supplier is cost effective. Basically both are good, but which is cost effective, that you are going to decide as a manager. So that's how a practical way to do it when someone is going into that. Or else you will not do the calculation, but you will be a kind of a observer into that factory. Okay, so when a person is been calculating and he's coming to you and saying that supplier 2 is the best one, it has low cost. But when you see the cost difference is not that much, and you see the defects, maybe your defects is you're concentrating more on defects, so defects is more here and defects are less here. So you will go with supplier 1 because there is no cost difference. Okay, so whatever decisions you will take, on basis of what? So as you are the answerable person, okay, something like that you might do related to supply chain. Okay, then after this, how many suppliers to use? Okay, whether both the suppliers or 3 or 4 suppliers should be there. Okay, or else only one supplier should be there. How many suppliers? Okay, for one product I can have single supplier or I can have multiple suppliers. ठीक है, एक सप्लायर एक स्टोर से ले सकता हूँ या फिर मल्टीपल स्टोर से ले सकता हूँ. आई हैव एन ऑप्शन फ्रॉम द इफ आई हैव द ऑप्शन ऑफ मल्टीपल स्टोर्स. ठीक है, व्हाई वी डू दैट? ये डिसीजन लेना ही क्यों है? Okay, why we want to select from one supplier or why we want to select from multiple suppliers? Okay, there are advantages, there are disadvantages of both. Okay, first of all, when we are selecting or when we are ordering from one supplier, we need to depend only on this person. If he doesn't supply properly, like in the previous example, we had 2 suppliers. Okay, different kind of defects, different kind of pricing, different kind of different distances were there. So if we have only one supplier, okay, we select one from them and we made a contract of 5 years or 10 years, then we don't have any option to change at least for 5 years. So if we have selected only one supplier, we have to depend on him. Maybe initially he might do a good service and then later on after 1 year his services might go down. So that is the risky part. So single supplier will be a good one because we don't have to always keep calculating which one to select or which one is better. Okay, he will be our single supplier and he knows what are the basic needs for us, and he can supply more quantity at a desired time. So it can be advantageous, but it will be very risky if he doesn't perform well. So it is good for having multiple suppliers. So like that decisions we'll be taking. Okay, one thing which I want to tell you, ठीक है, English grammar जैसे भी हो गया, a single supplier and a sole supplier. Single supplier, SOL. Okay, sole, SOLE, and single. Sole means only one. Single means also one. But sole means I don't have any option. Okay, if I want to go by train, then I don't have any other option to book it from IRCTC through Indian Railways, because that is the sole supplier of railway tickets. If I want to go by train, then Indian Railways is the only option. Okay, so that is the sole supplier. एक ही है वो. If I want electricity, Hescom is the only option. I don't have Reliance or I don't have Tata's electric grid in Belgaum. So if I want to have electricity in my house, Hescom is the sole supplier. Okay, but if I want to order something, maybe an online food delivery, I want to order food online. I'll generally order from Zomato, so he is my kind of a single supplier. But I can switch it to Swiggy. Okay, so I have an option, but I don't do that. So in that case, Zomato will be my single supplier. Single supplier है Zomato से ही मंगाता हूँ. But I have an option to order from Swiggy and some and Food Panda. I have an option, but I don't do that. So in single supplier, I have an option, different competitors are there, but I don't select those. I select only one. So in that case, it is a single supplier. If I don't have any option, there is only one person who supplies it, then that is a sole supplier. If there is a sole supplier, then there is no point in multiple supplier marketplace. ठीक है. इफ देर इज अ ऑप्शन ऑफ सिंगल सप्लायर, तो हम लोग के पास ये भी ऑप्शन है, मल्टी मल्टीपल सप्लायर्स. Okay, so which is favorable, which is good, and which is not good. Okay, so these are the points which says all that. To establish a good relationship, I can select only one supplier. I'll only order him, which Toyota does. Toyota has developed a system called as Kairetsu. They have uh, developed such a good relation with everyone that they have given a contract to each of the suppliers, and the contract is for 10 to 15 years. Okay, so that supplier will only supply to Toyota. Okay, their major business, maybe 70 to 80% of the business will be with Toyota. They'll not supply their majority and they'll not do their majority of work for other party. They'll only focus on Toyota. So that is the kind of a relationship with the which the Toyota has established from their vendors, from their suppliers. Toyota will have many suppliers, but for one product, one supplier will be there. There will be no competition done. So that will establish a good relationship, and so that the supplier will also try to innovate, also try to make cost-effective products for Toyota, and to have a good product innovation, product modification that supplier will do. Okay, and less quality variability. Quality, the quality of the product will not change much because he is the supplier. He has that same workers. He has that same machinery. Okay, he knows the technology. He knows how to build the products. So there will be no quality variations. If I book three or four suppliers, if I'm telling them just to manufacture my, what do you say, my headlights of the cars, then sometimes there will be some modification here and there. If I am taking for one from supplier 1 and supplier 3, so there will be some modifications. So so there will be a small variation in different suppliers. But if I have only one supplier, there will be no variation because the same thing will be happening day and night over there. Okay, and cost will be lower because I can order in a lot if I'm ordering from one supplier and not from all the three suppliers. सिर्फ एक कोई बोल रहा हूँ कि okay, you deliver me 10,000 products, then he will he will charge me less cost. But if I'm giving it the 1,000 products to three suppliers, 350, 350, maybe 300, if I give like that to three suppliers, then the cost will be high because I'm buying lesser quantities, and transport economies will be there. ठीक है, एक साथ 10,000 products can be, sorry, 1,000 products can be shipped immediately to me. 1,000 products from one supplier. Okay, if there are three suppliers, the trucks will arrive at different point of time, and sometimes half truck will arrive. I mean, not the full truckload will arrive. Okay, 350 products. The truck size may be pretty big, and the products will take lesser space. So small to my truck, where the fuel cost will be more in that case. Then proprietary product or process purchase. In this proprietary product is when the supplier holds the patent. Okay, like in vaccines we are seeing, they don't just Covaxin cannot be produced by any company. Okay, so for Covaxin there is a patency right for that company. Sputnik is has the patency right with the Russian company. Okay, Pfizer has the patency right for their AstraZeneca or whatever. So they have a patency right. They cannot just make it. None of the company just cannot make it. We have to take it from the company who has the rights to sell that, who has the patent. You must have heard this: patent, copyrights, trademarks. Okay. So that means no one can produce. Copyright is generally for books, written materials, and songs and everything. So no one can reproduce that. If, like your textbooks, I have your textbooks, two textbooks I have for supply chain. I cannot just print it and print it on my name and or on even on his name. I cannot just print it and start selling. Okay, I xerox मार के या फिर करके बाइंडिंग करके I cannot open up a shop and I as a registered shop and I sell it. Okay, I cannot do that. I need to take his permission because he has the copyright of that book. So if that is the case, then I know I don't have any choice. I need to select that supplier itself. Okay. And finally, volume two, small to split. If I have to order only 250 quantity, then I cannot have three or four suppliers for that 250 quantity. Okay, small products hai. So I cannot split. I need to select one supplier itself. Okay, ये एक single supplier का है. Multiple supplier का, again I'll just go through this information. Multiple supplier का, we have need capacity. That means when my single supplier cannot fulfill my need. Okay? My quantity has increased, with just single supplier cannot do that. So I'll select multiple supplier. Then the spread of risk of supply interruption. We can to avoid that. Suppose the single supplier is not able to supply or there is a delay in supplying, then in that case I'll select go with multiple suppliers to create competition. Okay. Competition create करना basically. If he's providing good, why you should also provide a good product at a lesser cost, at the cost के basis पे, quality के basis पे. I can create a competition so that I'll get a better product from the suppliers. And information. Okay, if there is a competition, there is a sharing of information with all the different suppliers. So one supplier cannot fool me. Okay, नहीं ये इतना महंगा है, ये this is the cost, this is the price. We require these many people to manufacture this. He cannot fool, because I know what is the requirement for the manufacturing of that product which you are supplying, because I have two or three more suppliers who can give me that information. So a single supplier cannot fool me around. Okay, then the last one was dealing with special kind of businesses. Special kind of businesses, they say there will be certain restrictions from the government. You have to give this to small scale industries or medium scale industry. You cannot give it outside. You have to produce it in the domestic market. That तो ऐसा कुछ है तो I need to give it for, ठीक है, and to give some of the products to manufactured by a small scale product, a small scale industry or medium scale industry. Some of the products, like when before 1990, before India got liberalized, Indian opened its economy. Okay, India is a mixed economy, right? Right? There is a socialist and a capitalist economy which has been mixed into India, and India has a mixed economy. So there are public sector units as well, which the companies which is run by the government, and there are private sector companies as well, which is run by the private people. Okay, so for example, Indian Oil or BHEL or Bharat Electronics Limited or ONGC or this nationalized banks, they are under the control of government. And for example, and for the private sector, there are maybe ICICI Bank and Kotak Bank. These are the private sector banks. Okay, then Reliance Refineries and L&T Infrastructure, L&T Cement, all those are private sectors. So both the things are there in India. So before 1990s, it was mostly run by the government companies. So before 1990, this products like papad, achar, and all these small grocery products, or what do you say, the toast, bread, and all these small products, the bigger companies were not allowed to manufacture this. ठीक है, ये लिज्जत पापड़ और ये सब जो पापड़ थे ना तभी, तो दे वर मैन्युफैक्चर्ड बाय द लोकल एंटरप्रेन्योर्स, लोकली जो प्रेजेंट है इन बेलगाम सिटी में, बेलगाम में जितने हैं, they were just only allowed to manufacture. Bigger companies like Hindustan Unilevers or Dabur, Marico, they were not allowed to manufacture papad or achar. अभी आता है ना मदर्स अचार आता है. ओके, क्या हो, MDH के मसाले, और वो these are bigger companies who are manufacturing those masales. So before 1990 they were not allowed to. So if that is that kind of a situation, so you will only have suppliers from that small local shops or local medium scale industries, small scale or home uh, home industry, which we call a small scale industry. They were the only suppliers. If that kind of restrictions are there, then we have to go with multiple suppliers. Okay, because our papad requirement may not be fulfilled by only one or two homes. Okay, so if that kind of restrictions are there by the government, then we have to go with multiple suppliers. Okay, so ये था, this was there for single and multiple suppliers. Okay. Uh, what is this logo?
Tesla.
Great. ठीक है. Tesla. Why I'm discussing this is, uh, Tesla has any news regarding Tesla? Recently related to India.
Automatic cars, it manufactures automatic cars.
Hmm?
Electric
थोड़ा
cars,
जोर से.
electric
Yeah,
cars,
they
sir.
are coming up with
Okay.
electric. Yes, correct. They are coming up with electric cars, and they have registered a company named Tesla India Inc. In Bangalore. Okay, so they are coming up with this kind of a, similar to this kind of a car. Okay, in Bangalore. So let's see what happens, because there was a discussion whether this Tesla cars can uh, come in coming making a car, manufacturing a car, launching in Indian market is not a big deal, but the Indian market should adopt it, and Indian market should have infrastructure for charging it, because electric cars hai, the charging station should be there. Okay, so charging station, establishment of those charging stations, and location of those charging stations is pretty much important. Okay, so we'll see what happens. So in India, actually, this is the kind of a 2020 analysis. Okay, I'll tell you why I'm doing this. Maruti Suzuki, okay, has almost 1.2 million cars it has sold, even in 2020. So it has almost more than 50% of the market share. 50% is other cars are there of Maruti Suzuki. Okay, market share means, if you don't understand the terminology, okay, this is a kind of a circle which I have made. Okay, okay. So in this circle, maybe this is 50%. Okay, if this is 50%, this is 50%, this is 50%. So more than 50%, and Maruti has occupied this much share of the market. That means these many Maruti cars are there in the market, and only these many are combination of Hyundai, Tata, Kia, Mahindra, Renault, Toyota, Honda, Ford, MG, Volkswagen. So ये सब cars इधर. So more than 50% of the market share has been occupied by Maruti Suzuki. And what Maruti Suzuki sells, they sell cars at a fuel efficient, what do you say, good average cars. Okay, that means the cars will consume less fuel, less petrol, less diesel. That kind of a cars they sell. Whereas Tesla will not have, not do like that. They'll not sell. They Whenever the Tesla car will be launched, it will be a premium segment, like a costly segment. Okay, many of the Indian buyers will not be able to buy those cars, but still we have to see what the response will be. And for that matter, अरे खराब हो गया. Okay, how to run this? Okay, so in India, the two-wheeler vehicles have the major 21 million shares in this. 21 million vehicles were sold, just were two wheelers, mopeds, scooter, bikes. All this, they have the majority shares, and the passenger vehicles or the cars have just 3.4 millions, whereas three wheelers, the auto or commercial vehicles. But this is the only market which the India has. इतना छोटा सा market है, and in that there are so many car companies are there, and in that Tesla is going to launch with electric vehicles, and the vehicle of Tesla is electric, and they should have the infrastructure which should be developed in the country. So it is let's see how this cars goes around. Okay, you need to see. Now there can be two or three options for Tesla. Okay, now just okay, I'll ask you what, if you are you are the planner. Tesla has a good manufacturing facility in China. Okay, in Bangalore, it has just set up an office, It has not brought the cars. So what, according to you, what Tesla can do? Whether Tesla can bring the full-fledged car in Bangalore and start selling, or Tesla can bring some parts from China, can manufacture some parts in India and then assemble them and start selling, or Tesla can establish the entire manufacturing unit itself in Bangalore and start selling its cars. Which option Tesla can select? In the chat box also you can reply. First, second, or third. First option is full car. Second option is assembly of the car. Third option is the production of the car. Okay, two or three. Anyone else? Okay, cool. So first option, no one is telling. That means Tesla shouldn't bring the entire car. Okay, that is a good one. Definitely Tesla should not bring the entire car, because it will have, first of all, it will have a huge import duty on bringing the entire car. Okay, second option and third option, both are fine. Third option will be pretty much risky, because if they set up the manufacturing plant and start producing the Tesla cars, it will take time. And they don't know what will be the response of the Indians. Okay, what will happen, whether they'll accept it, whether they'll take 5 years or 10 years to accept that, accept those products. I don't know. So the third option will be pretty much riskier. पूरा का पूरा यहाँ इधर ही we are producing, इधर ही we are manufacturing. Second option is a kind of a safe option. Okay, I'll bring some parts from China, I'll manufacture some parts and assemble, and I'll sell in the market. A pretty much less riskier option. First option, good, you didn't tell. Okay, that will be very costly. Okay, so let's see what happens. One example I want to give you: Harley Davidson. You know, right? It's a bike. Okay, what do you say? A heavy duty kind of a bike is there. Harley Davidson. Harley Davidson. So Harley Davidson also was there in India, and it left India, and again it has came back. Harley Davidson का problem क्या था? The cost of the bike was, the cost of the bike is somewhere around 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs, like that it is. So when Harley Davidson launched in the Indian market, there were good response from the Indian customers for Harley Davidson, but the cost of bike was so huge that it could not sell many units in India. And the cost of bike was huge because the taxation which was imposed to Harley Davidson was very high. Almost 30 to 40% of the price of the bike was the tax which was paid to the government. So there was a, what do you say, there was a clash between Donald Trump and Narendra Modi for that. Harley Davidson का इतना tax क्यों लगा रहे हैं करके. So there was a reduction in the tax, but still Harley Davidson could not reduce the cost of the bike. So that's the reason. And why the tariffs were more for Harley Davidson? Because they were bringing the entire bike to India. They were not assembling the bikes, or they were not producing the bikes in India. So that was the reason the price was very high, because the finished good, when they are bringing to India to sell, the price of the tariffs, the import duties are very high. So that's the reason the cost of Harley Davidson was very high. So even so, good you didn't tell the first option, because if Tesla brings the entire finished good, finished car into Indian market, the tariffs will be very high and the price of the car will be also high. So second and third option are good. Third option will go when Tesla will be confident that okay, we are good in Indian market, we can set up, we can start selling in Indian market. Also, Tesla can manufacture cars in Indian market and sell it, or what do you say, the breakdown products. We'll just manufacture parts and sell it to other countries as well. Okay, or just ship it to other countries. You know, I went to this Volkswagen plant in Chakan, Pune, Maharashtra. So in Chakan, when there was an industrial visit for us, and so in industrial visit, we saw that there were cars which were manufactured, the cars which were getting produced over there, they had left hand drive. Oh, sorry, right hand drive. That means the steering was on the left side of the car. Okay.
then we asked a question, India mein to we don't sell that kind of cars. Okay, so why it has been manufactured in Chakan? So they told that manufacturing of cars in the eastern countries, the far eastern countries, Korea, South Korea, Malaysia, Indonesia is very costly. Manufacturing of these, setting up the plant over there. So we are manufacturing in India and we are shipping it to those countries. These cars doesn't go on roads in Indian market. Okay, so if Tesla could do that, then it will be a very good manufacturing facility in India. So they can manufacture cars in India and they can sell it to some of the eastern countries. So let's see what happens. Keep a track of all these news. Okay. So then final thing for today is about international purchasing and global outsourcing. Okay. Global outsourcing is what? When my products, just like Tesla, if I'm getting my products from outside, getting the broken down products, okay, from China, some I'm manufacturing in India. What second option I've told you. So that is a case of a global outsourcing. I'm bringing raw materials or semi-finished goods from different countries, then I'm assembling and then I'm selling in the country. Okay, same way which the McDonald's used to do in Iceland. They used to source the materials from Germany and then they used to supply burgers, sell the burgers in Iceland. So it was a kind of a global sourcing. So it says international agreements aimed at relaxing trade barriers and promoting free trade have provided opportunities for the firms to expand their supply bases to participate in global sourcing. Okay. As I was telling, before 1990, there was no liberalization, no privatization. Okay, no globalization was there. But after 1990, when Indian economy opened up, many foreign companies started coming in collaboration. So slowly it was there. 100% nahi tha, some 49% tha. Ownership was should be there with the Indian company. That means in case of Maruti Suzuki, Maruti had 51% and more share in Maruti Suzuki. Suzuki had 49% share. So Suzuki was not the basically owner. Maruti is the owner and Suzuki is the a joint partner. Same goes for Hero Honda and for other companies as well. Okay, you have the insurance company, Bharti AXA Life Insurance. So Bharti is an Indian company, AXA is from America. Okay, Bajaj Allianz. Okay, Bajaj Indian company, Allianz is a foreign company, again an American company. Okay, so like that. Tata Sky we have. Sky TV is from foreign, I guess. Sky TV is also from some European country. So Sky TV is from foreign and Tata is Indian company. So like that, the collaboration was done because of opening up of the economy. So when we open up the economy, we can source materials from outside. Now, many of you must have seen some of your relatives or friends or uncle, they have a business where they buy source material from different countries. Import का business है या export का business है. So they import something from different countries. In Belgaum, maybe there are many companies who directly export to the countries. They don't sell in Indian market their products. Okay. Belgaum was very famous, or still it is one of the famous castings in castings. जो casting बनाते metal castings what we make in India at once upon a time Belgaum was the leader in castings. ठीक है, in the selling and manufacturing and exporting the castings business, Belgaum was the leader. And even now it is somewhat. So Bemco जो है, Bemco was the company which was the one leader in the Indian market at once upon a time. So they were exporting after 1990 when the economy got opened up. So global sourcing or global outsourcing is also very important. In my first as I after my MBA, I was in one company which was doing an import. I was in the import team. Okay, so I just wanted to share this with you. This is a bill of lading. You cannot loading, lading. Okay, bill of lading means when anything is being transported, imported or exported or entry port, जो भी हो रहा है, anything which is coming from another country or going to another country, we need to make a kind of a bill, kind of this bill. So in this bill, there will be information about who is shipping the bill, who is sending the bill, who is the consignee. That means who is the customer in our country. Suppose that shipment is coming from Dubai and it is coming to Nhava Sheva in Mumbai, Mumbai port में आ रहा है, Nhava Sheva port पे Mumbai में आ रहा है. Then the shipper will be from Dubai, the consignee will be in here in Mumbai. Then what type of product, what is the quantity of the product, what is the weight, and what everything will be written in this bill of lading. You must have seen those containers. Okay. Oh, this. Okay, you must have seen this containers. So ये containers में my company used to have this. Okay, these kind of containers, the shipment आता था. So anything which has been sourced outside will come under this containers. So there will be a 40-foot container, 20-foot, small containers will be there, big containers will be there. This is the ship which is carrying containers. You must have seen this kind of ship, green ever given ship, evergreen करके. It was stuck in Suez Canal. Okay, so those were the kind of containers which everything comes in. So just for your knowledge, I'm telling this is a part of a huge logistics chain, and it has a huge scope of for job purpose. I'm telling, it has a huge scope for job, that kind of a business, logistics and supply chain, if you're planning to go. And in any, and it doesn't matter which specialization you are into, there will be work for CS engineer, there will be work for civil, there will be work for mechanical, there will be work for any engineer, EC, electronics. There be every engineer is involved into that thing. कोई शिप में काम करता है, कोई शिप में है, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक इंजीनियर है उधर, ये सब. So there is a huge scope for that, because the world has become a kind of a global village. So you have connectivity everywhere. So that is a kind of a container where when we are sourcing, that the products will be shipped, and this is a kind of a bill which will be made, which will be submitted to the customs. Okay, chalo, why we do that? करते क्यों हैं global sourcing? Because just the primary reason is, these three reasons are there. Okay. The basic reason is the lower price of the materials. Okay, if I'm sourcing from anything from outside, one of my friend, he went to China for sourcing this kind of materials. So he was into kind of a wooden furniture business. So wooden is very, China, okay, they produce in huge bulk quantities. They flood the market में flood आ जाता है उनकी products से. If they are manufacturing, they manufacture in huge quantity. ठीक है, quality, what we tell them, that quality they will deliver to us at a very lesser cost. So they flood the market. So if your manufacturing facility is good, okay, you will have a upper hand in the market, upper hand in the global market, I'm telling. So they have a good manufacturing facilities, and so that they can produce more. So if whoever is producing more, I'll source them from them, because so that I'll have a lower price of the products. Okay, and the quality of overseas products may be better due to newer and better product and process technologies. So if I want a good quality product, maybe that quality of product is not available in India. Okay, so I can source it from different country. Okay, maybe I can definitely not go to China. I'll go to Japan or Taiwan, or go to some other European countries or Middle Eastern countries. I can source it from there for my products. And finally, the firms may buy from foreign suppliers to support the local economy, where they have subsidiaries for counter trade. This I'll explain you in the next slide. Okay. Now before that, one general knowledge, special economic zone, or SEZ we call. Okay, we call them SEZ. Okay, anyways. Okay. SEZ or the Special Economic Zone. This is a photo from Mumbai. Okay. We have a SEZ over there. The nearest SEZ is near the ACUS. If you must have seen. Okay, when we go towards Maharashtra, there is a ACUS Quest करके companies है. There is an SEZ. SEZ or the Special Economic Zone, which has been established, ऐसा कुछ रहता है. It is not the companies which are established over there, which are working over there, they are not considered as a part of the country. मतलब वो ये लोग basically इंडिया के बाहर है. Okay, the rules and regulations, the taxes which are being applied, the financials, what they develop, they are considered outside of country. So they maintain some separate kind of taxation and separate kind of everything. Okay, their financials, their taxation system will be different, and they will be having some benefit for manufacturing. So इसके लिए we set up a kind of a SEZ so that our manufacturing facility or our business should improve. And mostly companies will go over there to capitalize on that. So ये SEZ करके एक term just remember. But if you want to compare, SEZ India का है और SEZ China का है. Okay, China has set up a kind of a city. SEZ बोल के एक city है उनका, and everything is there in that. Okay, so many companies will be there. It's there in Shenzhen. Shenzhen करके एक province है China में. That is entire province is of the country. So whenever an import or export is happening, whenever a manufacturing is there and you're exporting something, so generally SEZ is the place where the country tells to source the materials, to send the materials, to do import export business. Okay, so ये एक और kind of a general knowledge which I wanted to share. Okay, then today is the last slide. Okay, counter trade. ठीक है, before that, just I want to tell. I hope you know this. Export is when if from India I'm sending something outside, selling something basically outside, then it will be an export. From India to it is going to Dubai, then it is a export. Import is when from Dubai it is coming to India. Okay, that is an import. That is also called as entry port. Okay. Okay, I'm very bad in this. Sorry, इधर ही आता है. Okay, entry port. So entry port is between import and export. Okay, import, you have an idea, when things are coming to India, it is an import. Things are going out of India, it is export. Okay, in import and export, either of the country will be using that material, using that product. Okay, when suppose I'm importing something from Dubai, and that same thing I'm exporting to Malaysia, and I'm not using it. मैं सिर्फ एक kind of a middleman हूँ. I'm just a kind of a middleman here. I'm importing from one country and that same product I'm exporting to another country. I'm not using the product. I'm not modifying the product. I'm not producing anything. I'm just वही packet को उठा के I'm putting it for exporting to Malaysia. Then that process is called as an entry port. Okay, so in entry port you don't use the products. You do import export simultaneously, or of that same product. Okay, so that is what is entry port. So counter trade, okay, this our topic. Counter trade is what when the global outsourcing will be there in exchange of goods. So normally what happens in import, export or entry port, we share the currencies. You know which are the, okay, now I want your reply. Which are the four currencies in the world, मतलब which are the four currencies which we can use anywhere in the world? Okay, for example, rupees we cannot use everywhere. We can only use in India, and there are a few other countries which accepts rupees. But there are four currencies which we can use anywhere in the world if we have that. Okay, one I'll give you. dollars, American dollars. American dollars, if I have, I can use anywhere throughout the world. In not in the
Euro.
market. Yeah, euro is there. Two more. Yeah, euro, Shubham. Yeah, euro, American dollars, and two more are there.
Yen.
Yen, Japanese yen. Okay, cool. One more. Okay, chalo. It is a British pound. Okay, pound. Pounds, euros, yen, and dollars. These are the four currency which we can use throughout the world. Okay, so whenever there is an import or export, or wherever there is a trade between two countries, any of these four currency will be involved. Mostly dollars will be involved. Okay, whenever we buy oil from any country, we generally use, we as an Indian government generally use dollars. So because of that, there is a every day we see the fluctuations of currencies. uh, you, you must have seen in the news, Indian rupee has went down, dollar is up, sometimes dollar will go down, Indian rupee will be up. Then generally we compare with these four currencies, and we have a floating market. It is based on demand and supply. वो तो economics हो जाएगा बहुत. Okay, so these four currencies are there. So whenever we want to buy or sell something, we need currencies, their currencies, or else these four currency. But to avoid this, ये currency का exchange करना ही नहीं है. I don't want to do any transaction with currencies. So what we can do while importing, I'll import some goods, okay, and at the same time, with that same party, I'll export some goods to that party. Okay, it is kind of a barter system. If you have heard this terminology, that means I want to buy maybe, okay, in local market, if you imagine, I want to buy a rice, 1 kg of rice, okay, and I have vegetables with me. Okay, so I'll sell him the vegetables. 1 kg के rice का maybe 3 kilos of tomatoes. Okay, 3 kilos of tomatoes and 1 kg of rice is the kind of an exchange I'm doing. So rupee transaction is not involved in this. So it is a kind of a barter transaction. Okay, so it is mentioned in this. The seller is selling goods and or services to the buyer, and in turn, buyer is providing some goods and services. Okay, services as in if my fan is not working, I have called an electrician. Okay, the electrician is repairing my fan. So instead of giving him money, I'm giving him maybe one half kg of rice. ठीक है, repair किया ना, I don't have money, I'll give you half kg of rice. Okay, so something like that. So it is a kind of a barter. So one is providing any good, another is providing any other good, or also or else a service. So that transaction is kind of a barter transaction. So in when you don't want to deal with money, you go with counter trade. Okay, so because it will be beneficial for both the parties. If he wants some good, I'll source it anywhere. I may not the manufacturer of that good, I may source it from somewhere. I'll buy from the domestic market and I'll give it to him because he wants that to buy from my country. So I'll source it from my country and I'll just deliver that good to him of that equal amount, and that other good which I want, he will source it to me. Okay, so basically there is an exchange of goods between two parties. So that is called as a counter trade. Okay, so if that Tesla wants to bring car products from China, so I'm importing car products from China, and in turn I'm sending steel goods to China. Some steel sheets or steel rods I'm sending to China. Okay, so that will be a kind of a counter trade which we can do. Okay, okay. So by this we complete our second module, and yeah, about your remaining syllabus, third module का third module's first part I'll be doing. Okay, so that means this part. Okay, this part I'll be doing. Okay, about warehouse management, stores, this everything, obsoletes, ये क्या है, scrap value क्या है, analysis, material handling, what is transportation, what is traffic management, operation efficiency, productivity, ये सब, this I'll be doing. And the remaining, this part, इसके नीचे का, ये supply chain network से distribution से लेके onwards your 5th module तक, the remaining part of your syllabus will be done by different professor. Okay, so today I completed second module. Third module we'll start it from next class. Definitely आज तो नहीं करेंगे. Today's class was very small, I guess. So third module I'll start from next coming Wednesday. And it may take 2 classes, I guess, to complete this part. So this is actually, this module comprises of 3 modules, or at least 2 modules. ये इतना बड़ा module है. So the first part I'll be doing, and the next part onwards, different professor will be doing. Okay, so let's see if I could start. Yeah, I'll start it from the next Wednesday itself. I don't have any. We'll do one kind of a small story or a case study in next class, and then we'll start with the third module. Okay, so by this, I complete your second one. Okay, I'll share this today with you. Okay, कितने slides है? 44 slides. Okay, you can consider it as 42 slides. Okay, and I'll share you the notes as well. Okay, I'm just preparing it now. Okay, अभी इतना ही हुआ prepare करके. So I'll share this, and along with this, and your internal IA test will be informed to you shortly. So let's see how it will be. And now, okay, so any doubts, or can we log out? Yes, Shubham, you want to say something? No? ठीक है then. Everyone, have a good day. So, thank you everyone. Thank you Prajit. Thank you Vibha.